It's delightful to return home and revel in the anticipation of more than a week's respite from work. I'm availing myself of a week's annual leave, my dear, she announced, her tone tinged with expectation. While I would appreciate additional attention from you, perhaps I could also arrange a few days off from my professional commitments. We might embark on a brief excursion, Jacob. We aren't embarking on a short trip, dear. I am embarking on an extended journey, he declared. Perplexed, she inquired, What do you mean, honey? I intend to take a week-long hiatus, not only from my employment, but also from our marital union, he clarified. Fear not, you are free to pursue your desires and companionship during my absence, just as I shall not hold any grievances for your actions. I apologize, Jacob. Reflecting on their marriage, she likened it to a demanding occupation. Initially, I underestimated the parallels between marriage and full-time employment. A spouse must demonstrate reliability, fulfill their duties proficiently, and above all, ensure their partner's satisfaction. Our domestic life has become akin to a meticulously organized workday. Contemplating this, I pondered why marriage couldn't incorporate a provision akin to annual leave, permitting spouses to rejuvenate and return to their roles invigorated. Admit it, our marriage has grown somewhat stagnant, mundane, and routine, particularly in the realm of intimacy. I nearly forgot the sensation of pleasure. Thus, I concluded that we both require a hiatus to reignite our passions. Upon reflection, you'll acknowledge the validity of my proposal and ultimately appreciate the benefits it yields. You're delusional, Mia. I never assented to such an arrangement when we married, let alone received prior notice of your unilateral decision. I fail to comprehend why you anticipate my compliance with your unconventional plan, but I adamantly refuse to entertain it, Jacob protested. Smirking, she retorted, Naive man, I do not require your approval. Relax. I have no intentions of abandoning you. I simply believe that after diligently fulfilling our marital obligations, we both merit a period of respite. I refrained from divulging my intentions earlier to preempt any objections. Moreover, tickets and accommodations have been secured, rendering any changes impractical, particularly considering your aversion to squandering funds. I need to purchase swimsuits for my upcoming trip to sunny Jamaica. We are going, she declared, prompting Jacob's inquiry. Who is this we? Jacob queried. My boyfriend and I, she revealed. Jacob's disbelief was palpable. You have a boyfriend? Who is he? That's not your concern. Just don't do anything foolish like informing his wife. Find yourself some diversion while I'm away, but remember to dispose of it before my return. This isn't a permanent departure. I value our marriage and you. This week off is for both of us. In 7 days, we'll both appreciate each other, and our marriage will be rejuvenated. Trust me, she asserted confidently. You're delusional if you think I'll allow this, Jacob retorted firmly. This is my final word on the matter, Jacob. Don't complicate things, she countered. I anticipated your disapproval, so I've already transferred most of our funds into an account solely under my name. Your remaining money will sustain you for a little over a week. Additionally, I've obtained a credit card in my name alone to prevent you from stranding me in Jamaica by canceling our joint cards while I shop. Embrace the inevitable and adapt to this idea sooner rather than later. You might even find yourself eager to repeat this experience. Jacob, after I finish shopping, we'll have a few hours before I depart. I suggest we indulge in a passionate farewell to remind you of what awaits upon my return. I love you, she concluded before leaving. Upon her return home, Jacob was absent, a fact that didn't surprise her. You had your chance, she murmured. Goodbye. A week later, she returned home expecting to find Jacob. However, his absence was conspicuous. As she searched the house, she realized most of his belongings were gone. Damn it, he's throwing a tantrum, she muttered in frustration. I hope he has registered to file for divorce once he realizes the potential losses he will face. He will soon come crawling back. The intimacy with my boyfriend was satisfying, but I yearned for the unique experiences I could only have with my husband. First, I will demand an apology from Jacob, and then I will lovingly forgive him before engaging in passionate intimacy. Once this is done, everything will return to normal. As Mia tidied up and prepared for bed, she was confident that Jacob would return soon. The journey had left her exhausted, and she easily drifted off to sleep. When she woke up the next morning, she stretched in bed, momentarily forgetting that he was not there. Well, he will be back soon. As she went downstairs, she quickly noticed that the coffee she usually woke up to was not prepared, as it had been since she and Jacob got married. Without Jacob's assistance, she nearly ran late for work. Frustration began to build towards her stubborn husband. On her way to work, she attempted to call Jacob's cell phone, only to receive a message stating that it was no longer in service. Damn, it seems like he wants to play games. Well, I can be just as cunning. I will make him pay for his obstinacy. Mia ended the call and dialed his work number. Hello, Mr. Sherman's office. How may I assist you? Hello, Sarah. This is Jacob's wife. Can I speak to my husband? I apologize, Mrs. Sherman. He is not here. All right. Can you inform me of his expected return? I'm sorry, but we are not authorized to disclose such information. Since when did you have a problem sharing this with me? When did silence become the policy? The secretary's response was laced with attitude. Because Mr. Sherman instructed me to give you this if you called, you bastard. The secretary abruptly ended the call. Perhaps Jacob has found someone to be intimate with, causing him to delay informing me about my annual leave. I hope he hasn't found someone to get close to so quickly. I suppose I was mistaken. Maybe he, too, has decided to take a break from our marriage. Well, good for him. Mia's momentary solace was abruptly shattered when her attempts to utilize her credit card at a restaurant were met with rejection, and the ATM refused to dispense funds. Subsequent inquiries at the bank revealed a depletion of her personal accounts, leaving only a minimal balance. Perplexed, Mia sought clarification on how such transactions occurred without her consent. The Ministry of Internal Affairs disclosed that, according to bank records, she had provided written authorization herself. Presenting her file, the clerk displayed documents allegedly signed by Mia, granting her husband access to her new accounts, along with a driver's license purportedly belonging to a woman identifying herself as Mia Sherman, an individual distinct from Mia who could verify her identity through her own driver's license. Despite Mia's fervent protests, her concerns were met with indifference. She was advised to pursue legal recourse and involve law enforcement if she believed she was a victim of fraud or identity theft. Incensed by the betrayal, Mia resolved to seek retribution. Subsequently, Mia lodged a report with the police, citing instances of fraud, identity theft, and forgery of her signature. Providing detailed information, she speculated on the potential whereabouts of her husband and his alleged accomplice. Despite thorough investigations conducted by both local law enforcement and the FBI, significant leads proved elusive. Hindered by financial constraints, Mia lacked the means to engage legal representation or private investigators, exacerbating her predicament as her financial resources dwindled rapidly. With limited options available, Mia resorted to reaching out to Jacob's acquaintances and family members, echoing the efforts of law enforcement. Yet her inquiries yielded uniform responses of ignorance or refusal to cooperate. Faced with the daunting prospect of maintaining the household and meeting financial obligations single-handedly, Mia contemplated the possibility of selling the jointly owned property. However, this avenue was impeded by the property's co-ownership status, exacerbating her financial dilemma. Due to your abandonment and the fact that you hadn't been gone for a sufficient amount of time, she was unable to file for divorce. Mia was informed that she could follow the usual legal procedures for divorce, but in doing so, she would risk losing her home. In order to start anew, the Ministry of Internal Affairs declared bankruptcy. It was on the day of moving that Mia received a letter. Mia, it seems that you were under the impression that I had no other option but to patiently wait for you to end your affair and return to me. Perhaps you have forgotten what I do for a living. I have been a defense lawyer for numerous counterfeiters throughout the years. I have come across many skilled individuals in the art of counterfeiting. I distinctly remember one woman who served her time and possessed exceptional counterfeiting abilities. In fact, she was so remarkable that I sought her out and requested her assistance. Initially, she believed that I was trying to set her up and prove that she was still involved in criminal activities. However, after calming her down, she shared her story with me about the challenges ex-convicts face in finding honest employment. She was destitute and contemplating a return to a life of crime or even prostitution. To my surprise, she agreed to help me on the condition that I would take her with me and help her create a new identity. It only took one night spent with her to realize the potential of this arrangement. She was able to forge a driver's license using your personal information and her own photo. She then assumed your identity at the bank and forged your signature. The resemblance was close enough that no one questioned it. None of the bank employees had ever met you personally, so the fact that she didn't resemble you physically was inconsequential. All that mattered was the authenticity of her fake ID. Initially, my plan was to reciprocate your annual week-long absence with a year-long sabbatical from our marriage after returning your money to you. However, I couldn't comprehend how you could treat me in such a manner on the day you left. My generosity has now run dry. After spending a considerable amount of time with my partner, I have come to the conclusion that taking a break or ending our relationship is not the right decision. Therefore, Mia, in accordance with your comparison of marriage to a job, I must inform you that you are no longer employed. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel to ensure that your next partner remains faithful, and please continue listening to the upcoming story as it surpasses the current one. However, if you are below the age of 18, it is strongly advised that you refrain from listening.